So Matt, are you
Good morning, everybody.
Are you really a real estate agent or what?
Oh man, I hate real estate. I hate being a real estate agent. No. Gave that up. January 1st, 2017. I stopped selling houses, and it was a pretty scary proposition, but it's been very rewarding. It's been pretty cool. Cool journey.
Cool. So I love your casual, whatever. This is you, right?
This is me, man. This is how I show up to the office.
Yeah. When you showed houses back in the day, like did you
suit and tie?
Suit and tie.
You know, I was 19. My dad said my dad was in the business, and I said to him, you know, who's going to buy a house from a 19-year-old? We had these big houses for sale on Mississauga Road. I had to do open houses there every single weekend. And he goes, you got to look the part, and you got to know your stuff. Knowing your stuff was in open houses, being here today, learning the industry, and then showing up, looking credible.
Yeah. So you've been 15 years in the business, roughly?
Yeah, 15 years.
Ranked 9th in Royal LePage out of 18,000 agents. That's amazing. Thanks. Top 10. When did you break through the top 10? When?
We broke through the top 10. It was about 5, it was 6 years ago, and the reason I know this is I spent just under 3 months outside of the country that year, 6 weeks straight in Thailand and Africa. Royal LePage's fiscal year end is early December, so when the rankings came out, I was overseas, and I'm going, look at that, eh? Like the team leader who thinks he's, the big ego, the big shot, and everything revolves around him. It actually doesn't. It's the people that you surround yourself with. So to crack the top 10 while being out of the country for 3 months was a testament to not me, but the systems and the people that we had in place, and
that's
pretty amazing outcome. Yeah,
that's cool. You're an SOB, right?
What's an SOB? Son
of what? Son of broker. Well,
I'm a son of a broker. Yes, that's what
I'm an SOB. You're an SOB, right?
Yeah.
Your dad sold in the 70s, right?
My dad was, I was actually just talking with him the other day. It'll be 10 years February that he retired, but up until when I joined him, he'd been in it for just under 30 years.
Oh, wow. So you joined the team, and you were like the...
No team. It was just him.
Just him, sorry. Yeah, and you were like second generation, right? We got a lot of second generation people in here. Was it a challenge, to fill his footsteps? Did everybody look and say, oh, he's just getting business handed to him from his dad? Yeah. He's a real SOB and nobody.
Yeah, I'm that guy. Like, you can't actually see it, but there's a pretty big chip that sits on my shoulder, and you're 19, right? You don't know a lot, and I remember hearing the whispers in the kitchen area of the office, like what Conrad was saying about, he's his father's son, blah, blah, blah. He'll only be successful because of that. And I go, you know what? You don't know me. You don't know me. You can argue that it actually is harder, and we won't go there right now, but yeah. I certainly use that as some motivation.
That's awesome. So you're like the unrealtor and the unteam. You hate the word team, right?
I can't stand the word team. I hate... I'll ask a philosophical question. Well, what is a team? Because when you go into the real estate world, there are no two groupings of people or team that do it the same. And I think of sports, like you have natural leaders in a locker room, you have a coach, you have a GM, but in the real estate world, and Jim Collins wrote Good to Great, an incredible business book, calls it The Genius of 1,000 Helpers. So I'm sitting there and I'm going, well, the genius of 1,000 helpers, according to Jim Collins, all those businesses have gone under. They're no longer. And if you have this leader, the team leader, and you've got all these people supporting this team leader, well, what about the people that are doing the heavy lifting? Like, shouldn't it be the other way around, where I'm helping to hold them up? And once I kind of gathered that, everything began to change.
Yeah, so you have 23 people on your team.
Yeah,
and you're 3, maybe you're going to be 4 offices. Or?
Yeah, we're going to open we're in construction mode on our second, and thankfully no construction, just furniture on an Oakville office late in the year, early next year.
Where is it? Can you tell us? You're not Lakeshore, right?
Yeah, I've got two in Lakeshore and South Mississauga.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
About 8 kilometers apart, high traffic areas. Which really is an investment play more so than just having an office. Nothing I do is single pronged. There's usually 5 or 6 prongs that go into making an investment decision. I love money, not from an obsession of having it, but how it works, how to be creative with it, how to leverage it, how to grow it, especially in a country where what are we at now? Personal tax rates are 52%. Like, it's freaking murder.
So let's talk about your team.
Yeah.
Team structure. Like, how's it structured? The other thing I want you to talk about, because you've got some really interesting, you got some real like real high-producing agents that you brought over.
Yeah.
Okay, can we talk about that for a
Sure.
second? So this is very fascinating. You brought some really high-powered, very successful in their own right. How did they take to maybe losing their identity? And what was your value proposition to attract these producers?
One of the speakers was talking about this earlier. You know, if you have a team, this will resonate. Or if you're thinking of starting a team, be warned. At the core of a team is people, and people are complicated. People are complicated in good ways, and they're complicated in some not so good ways. So you really have to kind of start with yourself, and you have to look at, well, who am I, and what do I want, where do I want to go? And if you go back to childhood, we were all taught, surround yourself with like-minded people. If you surround yourself with like-minded people, you're hopefully they're good people, and you're gonna just naturally follow in a positive direction. When it came down to who's going to be on this team, they've got to fit the culture, and we have a very no-nonsense culture. Like these, I refer to our team as rock stars or as an all-star team. We're not about hiring volumes of people. We're about associating ourselves with quality of people, and the word partner is not a loose word that we use. We have a senior partner designation that you need to hit that status. You need to qualify. You can't just show up to the office for an interview and expect a job.
So I'm going to assume a senior partner designation it's a higher split, or
all on our team, with the exception of a grandfathered rule, which is about a split difference of about that much. Everybody has the exact same split.
So when you brought people over that were doing 500,000 in GCI, more. Okay, so yeah,
500,000 in GCI, just for what it's worth, is probably like the low end of the benchmark that I'm going to look at. I'm not really interested in anything less. Like, if I'm being candid, and I know you really know me, but if you're not making like 200K in real estate, on your own, like, I just really think, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your day? It's not hard to make it. So I don't want that. I want that person that's driving forward, continuing, and I have these goals, and in fact I've got a year and a half to go where we will have $1 million producer on our team. That was said to the team 3.5 years ago that's what we're working towards.
And they're on a split, right?
They're on a split, yeah.
I don't know.
You want those splits, probably.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. If you don't want to answer it.
No, and
I know.
No, I don't mind answering it at all. And I'm actually just trying to think what they are. Splits, it's really interesting. Okay,
let me just say, is it a graduated split or just a flat?
On the buy side, it's a graduated split. Okay. If it's a listing, it's 50-50 right across the board. If we give you a listing, you get 20%.
Yeah, so you told me there was a producer that was like $750,000.
Yep.
Did that person come to you, or did you go to them? And
we have two $750,000 producers that I went to them.
You went to them.
Yeah.
And what was the sales pitch?
There is no sales pitch, man. Like, this is what you see is what you get. In fact, she's in the audience here, so I'm going to say it because I know she'll get a kick out of this. She comes into the office. I knew her numbers. I knew who she was. I go, what the hell are you doing here? Like, what are you doing here? Like, you don't. Like, I was so flattered that she was in front of me, and she goes, I don't know. I just have a good feeling about this, and I go, well, I have a good feeling about it too. And then we just went down the road. The word, if I have to sell you to come on and work at my business, like if I have to sell you to be my girlfriend, to be my brother, to be my sister, to be my cousin, that relationship's probably not gonna work out. I just have to be authentic. I have to be who I am. I have to open the door and show you like my deep and dark secrets, because eventually they're gonna come out. And I don't want you to come on for a year or 2 years only to find out, man, this guy's a dick. He lied to me. He oversold me, overpromised. And
that never happens.
Yeah, right.
So you just went through a branding change because it used to be Matthew Regan, now it's just the Regan team?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but like this young male guy with the big ego, like it kind of fell away one day where I said to myself, I look at it really simply like, if you were investors, if this was the stock market, if you guys represented investors, could I go to you or would you come to me and buy my business from me? So if I was going to sit down and create something in the form of a business, I need to create it in a way that you would want to buy my business. In layman's terms, if you're going to come work on my team, do you want to be known as Matthew Regan or do you want to be known as yourself? There's nothing wrong with working for a brand, so we dropped the Matthew, we kept the Regan, but now it's the Regan team. We've taken my face off of 99.9% of advertising. It's now the salesperson's face because the client doesn't know me. They don't want to do business with me. I don't have the relationship with them. You do. It doesn't seem right to me that I brand your business under my name.
Well, so the way I met Matt is interesting. Matt has the most phenomenal materials I've ever seen in terms of what you give. How many pieces do you produce a year? And
a lot.
A lot. Let's just say a lot. But they're very unique, very different. And we were at it was San Diego.
Yes.
Yeah, San Diego. And I have somebody who lives in Port Credit that actually takes all the mail and gives it to me. Right? Because I love it. And then I share it with people in my office. It's such amazing stuff. It's absolutely phenomenal. And the thing is, I remember being like, looking at you or whatever, and saying, wait a minute, it's got this big face. I got giddy that it was you in the room. Like, oh my God. And your stuff used to have your face branded on. Now it's kind of toned down. So the other day I did we had a team, at your office, a little conversation. And Matthew's so awesome. On his boardroom table, he had all his materials for me. Like, it was amazing. So now I don't have to get my buddy to steal them.
Yeah, just call me. I'll give you guys all the
on a
material.
recycling bin, so I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So let's talk about lead generation. Okay, let's talk about that. Oh, so you said, okay, can we go back to this about the partnership thing?
Yeah.
So is this like a profit sharing partnership or how does it work? Just, okay.
No, it's a mindset. It's a philosophy, right? Like, so when I look at somebody as a human being, so if I've got two human beings in front of me, naturally my tendency is going to tend to go to somebody that I can relate to a little bit better. But that might not always be like a good thing, because you don't want yes people in the room. You want people that don't necessarily see the world exactly the way you do, but still have like a good moral compass. So you sit there and you go, can I be a partner with this person? Can we argue? Can we fight? Can we debate? And still at the end, like Chris and I like to do, we hug it out, right? And that's really important, and I think it's really healthy in the business. It's the only way to move forward. If you were in our sales meeting yesterday, and if you could have been a fly on the wall, it was very uncomfortable at times. It was very uncomfortable. We're launching a new website, web developers in there, we're going through it. The ideas, the criticism, the critiques that are flying out there, like this is 8 months in the work and you're like, you want to curl up and die. But at the same time, you're going, no. You need to peel back these layers. You need to get different input. These are my partners. I didn't ask them to be my partner to see the world the exact same way I do. I need to see into their world just as much as they need to see into mine, and together we're going to make things better. Partner from a money standpoint, to be really clear, that is not what it's about, with the exception that you're with me for me to help you grow your business, almost like a consultant. I take your form of the split and I pump it right back into the business in the form of support, marketing, and advertising, and it's this wheel that just keeps going around. I drive a Jeep Wrangler as an example. I love to point that out because it's funny. I was watching you guys pull in. Like, realtors got the best cars, man. They got the best cars ever.
Car first.
But I don't drive the Lamborghini. It's not my style. I get more of a high off of taking your split, pumping it back into the business in the form of an investment, and making you wealthier without doing as much work and hopefully having a bit of a family.
So give us some of the non-licensed people, okay, and all the roles.
The non-licensed?
Well, not everybody. Just kind of give me like
the roles.
Yeah,
record, we have a broker of record,
yeah.
Rosa, who is here today. Like Rosa, she's like, and she knows, like, I'm not pumping her tires. She knows this. Like, the business doesn't really work without Rosa. And you can sit there as an agent, and you know when it's working well is when the agent has no idea what Rosa does. It's like, what does Rosa even do? And then I sit there and I go, Rosa runs this whole ship. Rosa, like I might come and do the odd oil change if she needs help, but she runs the business. And then we have an office manager. We took an agent who had been in the business for 30 years. She's in her, I hope I'm not wrong on this, mid-50s. And you know what? She just kind of wasn't at the level that I wanted her at. But she had the respect and the trust of the team. She has great leadership skills. And we moved her out of sales and we put her into a management position. And what this does is it allows agents on our team in a pinch to go to her for help. What do I do here? I need this. What about that? And it creates these almost filters where a sales partner can go to Allison, they can go to Rosa, they can come to me if they need it.
I was gonna say, what do you do then?
I don't know. I always get asked, what do I do? Do you know, the serious answer to that, Chris and I, and Drew, you know, it's interesting when you talk to people at the top of their game, there's a lot of common denominators. Getting up early is one. I am the 4 a.m. guy. With the exception of this morning, it was a bit foggy. I was up at 4:30, but it's quiet time, and I call it creative time. I'm that guy that on an empty stomach in the morning, a quick cup of coffee, give it 15 minutes, and I'm flying. The ideas come, and I'm an avid reader. So what do? I'm always working on the business. It doesn't stop.
So when did you stop actually physically?
January 1st, 2017.
That was it. That was the day.
Yeah.
Do you remember that last sale you did?
No.
No. What's been an interesting trend you've seen in 2019?
An interesting trend in 2019. Like in what? Because you asked this earlier.
Consumers, like consumer behavior, everything. What's been the
You see, my consumer is different. Like my client in my head is no longer the homeowner. It is the sales partner. I rely on the sales partner to tell me what the consumer wants. So if I can relate it back and keep this under the team concept, I had somebody just the other day, like, people, I think the vast majority of people want to hear the truth. And one of the things within 2019, the trend that I've seen is being open and honest with people is really beginning to pay off within our company. I had to send a very stern text message yesterday, and I don't do it very often, and it really upset the sales partner. She fires back, she's like, those words are hurtful, blah, 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 and I go, if I can recommend, my follow-up is if I can recommend, once you've taken the emotion out of this message, go back and read it, and I want you to tell me what you actually think. And I got the best reply. I got the absolute best reply. But you have to keep in mind where I'm going with this is, a couple of years ago, I stand to maybe lose this person. She may not have my full trust yet. She may not know exactly where I'm coming from. And we as long as you don't lie, cheat, and steal to people, and that you are authentic, you're allowed to build people up by actually breaking them down. How do you rejuvenate a forest? You have to burn a forest to the ground. So one of the things, the trends that I've personally taken with our team is I will burn you to the ground because you will know that I'm only doing it to build you back up.
Yeah, cool.
I know it's a bit of a different answer. Maybe not.
That's cool. I like it. Okay, so you're breaking into a new market, Oakville. What's the first thing you're going to do?
Actually, we're breaking into Burlington.
Burlington. Okay, look out, guys. He's breaking. Okay, so what are you going to do? Tell us all what you're going to do.
We're gonna support. I'm gonna give you just we are gonna support the most amazing person that we've got right now who's working her freaking tail off.
Yeah, so there's a listing she's got on Lakeshore and Walker's Line.
Yeah, she does have that listing on Lakeshore and Walker's Line.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Her licensed assistant got them in on what we call a meet and greet just by doing an open house. Big proponent of that. And then you look to snowball it. You give this person the industry is not hard. The industry is super, super, super simple. Chris said it best, just go talk to people. The problem with the industry is we overcomplicate it. We're really good at what's the next shiny object? What's the next pill I can take to lose 10 pounds? Once you get that stuff out of the way, it's really, really simple. Talk to people, get a listing, work the listing, like what Sarah was talking about, and watch it grow. Give them the tools and the support to help them do that, a little bit of a motivation, and I'm really big on accountability. We all need to be held accountable, and our team, you're held to a really high degree.
So let's go back to the pieces that you send out. You sent can you give us
20? Well, it used to be about 22,000 pieces every 2 weeks into our farm.
And they're a large piece, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we'll give you the idea to do it. It's a large piece that he says. It's folded.
Yeah.
How'd you get that idea?
And for any of the any men that were single in their lives, like I guess 10, 12 years ago, there was this book written called The Game, and basically like it's a really shallow book on how to pick up women. And I don't advise your sons or maybe daughters reading it, but there's this thing called the peacock approach. Like, how do you impress a woman? Well, a male peacock has the nicest feathers to attract, you know, the pretty other peacock. So you sit there and you go, well, doesn't that philosophy work in marketing too? If I send out a piece of crap, I can't expect a high return on my investment. But if I put a little effort into this thing, make it bigger and better on nicer paper and use, you know, cleaner lines and all that kind of stuff, it should yield a better
So size doesn't matter when you're talking about
Apparently it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who does all the research for that?
Me. I love that.
You do all that design work and everything?
No, I don't do the design.
But you do the research for all the stuff. Give us some examples of some of the things. You got a paint one?
Yeah, like Power of Paint. And this is all stuff you guys know. The difference is I actually just sat down and like wrote down what I already know. And you know, like you go into a 1970s house that hasn't been renovated since the day it was built, and it's got, I don't know, oak cabinets. And there's nothing wrong if you have oak cabinets, but for like $100 you can paint them out white and go to Home Depot and change out the hardware. And for not very much money, you've just increased your client's you know, return on the sale. So letting the consumer know that we're not just here to sell your house, we're actually here to sell your house for like top dollar.
And you do a market report too? How often does
No,
that
we
work?
don't do we do market report like videos,
Okay.
but that's not part of our business moving forward, because it used to be me doing the video, but your clients don't want to see me on video, they want to see you. So the new office has a studio going into it.
So you're going to create scripts and
Yep.
things for individuals to start producing the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
We really try to put an identity on our sales part.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the rapid fire. Okay.
Okay, here we
Print. Well, like print. You like print.
I
right?
freaking hate print.
You hate print. But you like printed stuff material.
No, I mean I do. I know. It's like Drew and I were debating / arguing / agreeing last night at dinner. Like, we've pulled right back on our direct mail, because unless I can do that and go ROI is this, I have a real hard time spending money. Like, the only way to there's only a couple ways to make money in this business. You gotta go sell more houses, you gotta charge higher fees, and you have to spend less money. Because if we all make $1 million in a year, but we spend $999,000 to do so, that's not cool. Like, it's about he who wins has the biggest T4 tax bill. You want to pay tons of tax. That's how you measure the success of a business.
Yeah, true. Yeah, unless you do a sub-brokerage and a corporate.
That's a whole other game. Yeah.
So just listed, just sold?
Nope, don't like it.
Nope. Open houses?
Yeah, huge.
Okay, closing gifts. Do you think?
Yeah.
What do you do?
LePage has an affiliate with Tiffany.
Oh, yeah.
So we do some of that. And the reason we do client gifts is because I remember past clients saying, we're not using you again, you didn't give us a gift when we sold with you last time. I'm going, this is about a gift? Like, man, I must have really done a poor job.
So what do you spend?
What do we spend? That's a Rosa question. That's probably like $300.
Okay. On closing, or you do it after the...
No, they do it on closing, but I really like Sarah's idea.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
So feature sheets?
No, we did. So Rosa saved the company $35,000 a year 3 years ago when we went to digital brochures.
Okay, so you have like a standalone website with a digital brochure?
Yeah, it's just done through flippingbook.com. It's
perfect.
Super simple.
Client appreciation, you've got...
Huge.
How many do you
3
3 a year.
Movie morning, get about 700 people out. That's family-based. We rent out like a nice restaurant, kind of like a Joey's or a Jack Astor's, if that's how you want to envision it. It's to more of like a millennial, like 30s, 40s, 50s generation. It's like date night, if you will. And then we do the Halloween events in the city. We actually do more than 3, but it's catered depending on which demographic of our sphere of influence we want to target at that time.
Client education events? Do you do
we have done them, and I'm neutral on them.
Okay, cool. Okay, great.
Cool.
Well, Matt, I want to thank you, man.
Thanks, guys.